make your way to the celebrity book signing stand after the demo and get your signed copy. Please be reminded to put your phones on silent during the performance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen them on TV and now you can see them live. Please give a warm Josie welcome to...
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. How are you all doing? We're going to try that again. How are you all doing? Awesome. So you're all here to see John Torode, of course, and he'll be out in a moment or two. Before we get there, welcome. I'm Michelle Mukri. I'm sure you're all excited to see him in action. Have you seen any other shows yet? Yeah, I see a few familiar faces over here. Ladies and gents, if I could please ask you to turn your phone onto silent, but feel free to tweet away using the hashtag GoodFoodWineShow2015. Ah, she's doing it already. Is she tweeting? Tweet. A few housekeeping rules. The exits is to your left and right as well as behind you, and ladies and gents is to your right. Now, ladies and gents, the moment that you've been waiting for. Did you get your wine? You're at the Good Food and Wine Show, so it's weekend. All right, so let's give a warm Josie welcome to John Torode on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1.
Come on, you can do better than that. Come on. Oh, yeah, it's the last show of the day. It's the last show of my show, the show. It's my last show of the show. Hello. How are you? Good. Young lady, man, person, light. That light just there. Can you bring it down a bit, please? Thank you. The problem is, you see, is yesterday I turned 50. You're not, I'm serious. Seriously, 50 yesterday. I look good, huh? Not bad, 50. But with the light, the light's just a bit much. Anyway, how you been? You all right? Good. I'm going to do something which is called Spice Up Your Life. Like a Spice Girl, like a Jerry Halliwell. A little bit of spicing to go together. And what I'm going to do is make us a lovely big bowl of seafood curry. I'm going to teach you how to poach an egg. And I was going to make a tomato kasundi, but I'm not quite sure. I'll see how I go. I might decide to do something completely different that I haven't done so far, just for a little bit of fun. How do we feel about that? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So let's just sort of talk about the essence of what good food's about and about curries and spice. I love Asian food. I think it's an amazing thing. The thing I love about Asian food is that it contains a good amount of chili. And chili releases endorphins. Oh, thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, can you do me a favor? These lovely ladies have looked after me all the last few days. Could you put your hands together for them, please? Aren't they lovely? Thanks, guys, very much indeed. Thank you. I have a cup of tea and I have a cup of coffee, and I'll tell you why in a second. Let me just drink my coffee. For all the people in the world who believe that coming up on stage like this is really, really easy, actually it's really quite difficult. Because what you're doing is you're showing your soul to everybody else. Yes, there's fortunate enough to have a barrier of a bench in front of us. I have my apron on, which is actually like my armor. It protects me, and it means that nobody can touch me and hurt me. But actually, to stand up here like this is quite nerve-wracking. So what I have is I have a little touch point. And for anybody who's ever been in the theatre or done a show or done anything like that, they will have a touch point. And a touch point is where, should something go wrong and should you lose your way or should you lose your train of thought, you find your touch point. And that touch point for me, and you'll find from the guys, I've always asked for a cup of tea on stage. And that's my touch point. This little cup of tea here is like a little safety blanket. As long as that's on stage, I know that should something go wrong, I can always go and touch it. I regroup myself, and I'm okay. Isn't that weird? See, there you guys, you think that, I'm some sort of guy who's indispensable and somebody who just knows how to. We are, of course, just normal people. I'm a normal person who loves food. And I love food so much, I want to get you excited about it. And I want you to understand why I'm excited about it. I'm going to make this Indonesian curry, and this Indonesian curry contains something which I love, and that is curry leaves. Could you hand this out, please, gentlemen? Thank you very much. I'm going to give you that one. That's curry leaves for you. And then I'm going to give you guys two things. And I want you, if you can, I want you to scrunch these things up. Not just a little bit, but I mean scrunch. We call it squinching, scrunching, scrinching, whatever you want to do. I want you to squash them in your hands. I want you to close your eyes, and I want them to transport you to somewhere completely different. Because in reality, good food is not just about what you're about to eat. It's a journey. It's a time when actually we eat every day. But there are special meals. There are special times when you eat. And when you eat special meals, come on in, love lady, come on in. When you eat special things, they make you feel good. And that's why if you got married and it was a good marriage, unlike my first two, if it's a good marriage, then you'll probably remember what you had for your wedding feast, because it was a special day. But there will be days where you actually eat things and not remember what you've eaten. But I'm sure all of you will actually remember every so often something really awesome. And I don't mean a cold beer, boys, while you're watching the rugby and the Saffers are being beaten by New Zealand, as it's going to happen tomorrow. I don't mean that. Oh. Let me just tell you something, right? In the world of, as I'm an Australian, okay, obviously, and I live in England, and I have a pecking order, a sports pecking order. And I go to the cricket quite a lot. I like the cricket. I go to Lord's. And there's a game on, and it's a test match between England and India. So we're sitting in the crowd, chatting away, everything else. This guy, Pom, turns around and says, "Who are you going for?" I went, "India. Of course I'm going for India." But I actually went to a test match recently, and so horrified was I with myself because it was England playing New Zealand. What do I do? I mean, let's be fair about it. I'm an Aussie. What do you do? I had to go for New Zealand. Can you imagine? Imagine. Thankfully, it wasn't South Africa playing. Anyway, right, just joking. Let's talk about curries. Let's talk about cooking curry. Let's talk about what you had in your hands. Some curry leaves and some lime leaves. Things which actually come from very different places. The curry leaf is very, very smoky. Did you get that? Very smoky and very earthy. The lime leaf, really fragrant, very fresh, a different thing altogether. I'm putting the two together, so I've got this sort of mellow smokiness and lovely freshness. But I'm also going to use quite a lot of curry paste. I could stand here and pound with a mortar and pestle, and you could get really bored, or I could tell you to go out and buy yourself a tub of curry paste. There's nothing wrong with a cheat. A cheat's a good thing. People make this professionally. You don't go out and buy yourself a coriander bush, grow the coriander bush, take the seeds off it, dry the seeds, and then actually grind them up yourself. Do you? Well, some people might, but I don't. Anyway, so what you do is you go and buy coriander. Turmeric, we buy dried turmeric. I like the fresh stuff, but they're very different. Anyway, what I'm going to do here, to start the curry, this is coconut milk. And coconut milk has two parts to it. On the top, this lovely thick coconut milk. And underneath, inside this tin, you can't quite see, but there is clear liquid. And that clear liquid is coconut flavored. But this bit here is what is going to give me the first layer of flavor in my curry. Everything about food is about layering. And what I love is I'm in the audience, I've got people from all sorts of places in the world. I can see this Indians, people from Africa, people from Australia. And the thing about we all cook differently. However, all food is layered and different ways of seasoning. This, for me, is an exciting way to cook. Take this coconut milk, and what will happen in a moment is you'll see it will start to split. And it becomes solid and oil or fat. Now, if I was Indian, I would be frying this off in ghee, but I'm not. I'm going to fry it off in this coconut milk. The coconut milk will go all toasty. Curry leaves, lime leaves, squinch them, squash them, get the oil out of them, smell them. It's better than the best aftershave in the whole world. If you stink a little bit, guys, grab a lime leaf, scrunch it up, put it underneath your arms on a flight, and you won't smell for the rest of the flight. Into the coconut, add to that this lovely curry leaf. Curry leaf at the start of the cooking process. They need to cook. They need to fry. They need to get all the flavor out of them. I was in Malaysia recently and we were eating lots of deep fried squid. And deep fried squid, and it was being served with deep fried curry leaves. It was just the most awesome thing in the world. 38 degrees, stinking hot, sweat running down my back. It was brilliant. I loved it, absolutely loved it. Come in close, young man. What's your name? I don't know your name. What's your name? Jonas. Jonas, nice to meet you. Jonas, you put your hands together for our cameraman Jonas, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Jonas. Jonas has been ace to me. I need to tell you something, Jonas. I didn't know your name. Do you know what my son's name is? Jonah. Seriously, isn't that lovely? Right, so you see now it's split. You can see on the no, not my fat belly. You can see now this is split. And you can see how the oils come out. That's super hot. And this is what I'm going to fry my curry paste in. A good dab of curry paste. And I don't mean just a little bit, I mean a good amount of curry paste. Because this is going to be a luscious, wonderful, huge pot full of delicious curry with lots of seafood. So we need the base to be strong. One thing I learned whilst I was in Malaysia was that the Malaysians, when you get a bowl of noodles and they've got broth, you don't drink the broth. You eat all the noodles, you eat all the food out, like the meat and the seafood, and the broth you leave beside because it's really strong and they don't want you to drink it. They want you to leave it as part of the flavor of the noodles. Squash this all down and give it a really good stir around. And now this bit here is about toasting the spices. Toasting all the spices that are sitting inside this lovely pot, this wonderful thing. Inside that curry paste, there will be chilies, coriander, turmeric, all sorts of it, and you can add whatever you want to it. Find yourself a recipe. Find a recipe you like. Cook it. And when you finish cooking it, make notes on the page of the things you'd like to change. Change it. You know what? Chefs are great things, but it doesn't mean they can actually cook for everybody. It doesn't mean, because the thing is, we all like things which are different. And I say to you, there's no reason at all why you shouldn't actually just cook what you want. If you don't like prawns in your curry, don't put it in there. If you don't like fish in it, then don't put it in. Use something else instead. It works just as well. So, what I've got here amongst and all these bits is I've got different types of seafood. I got some mussels. I got some clams. Bivalve mollusks, 2 shells that open up at the same time to feed themselves. Their job in life is one job and one job only, and that is procreation. And that means to breed. And that's all they're there for. They suck in the water, they spit it out again. When the water's warm, they blow themselves up, and their inner side turn to the things that procreate. So, sperm and eggs and stuff, and they shoot them out. And that's why during summer you shouldn't eat anything which is bivalve mollusk, because they're very bitter and they taste really, really strong. Eat it only when the water is cold, and only eat it when the weather is cold. Don't eat it when it's hot. So there's my curry paste all toasty. And now, to make it into a sauce. Our coconut milk or coconut water. And coconut milk is not made by milking a coconut. You can't milk a coconut. You can milk a cow, but you can't milk a coconut. It's made by grating fresh coconut flesh, dropping it into water, and then taking it and squeezing out the liquid from that. That's the first pressing. And you keep on doing that, and it's different grades of coconut milk that go through and different ones that you use. This here is just good old-fashioned coconut milk. And because it's made from water, as it boils, it's going to evaporate. And if it was to evaporate more, it would end up splitting like the first lot of paste. So I'm going to add some water to it. Some more water to my paste and my coconut milk. That's now going to come to the boil. And that there is how simple making a curry sauce is. But here is where that curry sauce becomes special. Because what we're going to do now is take one of the greatest gifts the world gives us, and that's seafood, and I'm going to add that into my curry. And what I want is I want the taste of the sea. I want the saltiness. You noticed in here, no salt. No salt, no fish sauce, for the reason that now I'm going to add the taste of the sea. Hi guys, how are you? Come along. Nice to see you. Can I get a lid, please? Is that okay? Oh, there's one there. Let's use this one. I don't think it's going to be big enough, but I'll give it a go. Yeah, that'll work. Right. Bivalve mollusks take a lot more cooking than normal fish. So what I'm going to do is put these clams in this pot, and you'll hear them dance a little bit. Add to that some mussels. That's supposed to be funny? No? Okay, fair enough. Add to that some mussels. And then what you do is add a little bit of the sauce. A little bit of the sauce, and it starts to come alive. A bit more noise happens. Put a lid on that. I'm going to put that over here because that's a bit slow, that one. And put my sauce on over here. To this end, from my lovely paste, fish. I don't know what sort of fish it is. What sort of fish is it, my friends? What's that noise? Oh my God. Do you know what? I came here yesterday, I looked up, and I knew it's Moonraker. Isn't it? And this place, any minute, the whole roof's going to open up. There's going to be a rocket come out the bottom, and ninjas are going to drop from all over the place, and I'm going to become James Bond. No? Look at it. Have you not ever seen Moonraker? No? Or the day after tomorrow, or the day after yesterday, or yesterday's tomorrow's day, or something. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. I think they've turned the air conditioning on. Anyway, right, so mussels and clams are in there, sauce is on, and now we're going to talk about the seafood. Squid. I love squid. 2 ways of cooking it, really fast or really slow, and braising it very, very slowly. So I'm going to put that squid in there and let that sit in that sauce for a while. And it looks like Scalamunga must have gone home by now. Anyway, that's fine. And let that sit away. Some prawns. And then some fish. Now, when you cook fish, I'm going to ask you to do me a little favor. From now on, from today onwards, I would like you to cook fish for only half as long as you think it needs to be cooked. Sound weird? Piece of fish like this, which is a beautiful thing, some people may say that could take 10 minutes to cook. I would say that will take 5 minutes to cook. Some people may even say that will take 15 minutes to cook. I'd say you've just destroyed one of the most beautiful natural products in the whole world. When you cook a piece of fish, when you serve it, it shouldn't be hot. Because if it's hot, it's still cooking. Which means that piece of fish, which is so beautifully cooked that you put on a plate and you've lovingly prepared, actually now is completely overcooked. Into a hot pan goes a piece of fish, and it sits there for a couple of minutes. You season it once it's been there, and then you turn it over. Don't season it before, because salt sucks out all the liquid from the fish and it becomes dry. Turn it over, cook it for another 2.5 minutes, and take the pan off the heat. And then when you've done that, let it sit in the pan for a couple of minutes. You'll have perfectly cooked fish. Don't keep on cooking fish. You don't need to. It cooks itself and it keeps going. Right, let's take a piece of steak. If you take a piece of steak and it went onto a really hot plate, and you served it medium rare, and you cut into it and ate that piece of medium rare steak, by the time you finished eating it, the whole thing will be well done. Because the plate is still hot, the meat's still cooking. So we all think that we eat hot food. We shouldn't really be eating food. Hot sauces maybe, soups maybe, but actually most things are served at room temperature. This is just boiling away. Come and have a look in there, young man. And look at these glorious gems of the sea. Look, clams. I mean, how beautiful are they? The lovely colours of nature. Forget trying to get all fancy about food. Just enjoy it and have a bit of fun with it. Have a bit of fun with it and let nature speak for itself. The fish is here, and then for the curry I need some prawns. So do I put the prawns in first? Do I put the fish in first? The prawns, absolutely. That's got a shell on it. And that shell, inside that head, there are lovely things. There are lovely flavours of prawniness. And prawniness is a lovely, lovely thing. So, in go the prawns, and it's coming up to a simmer. We'll let that go. And we'll do that. What time is it? 1:30. What time do I start? 10 past. Yeah, I've got enough time. I've got enough time to do you my little secret recipe. My little secret recipe which nobody so far in South Africa has seen. Yeah, that's right. It's a new one. There it is. I need a mixing bowl, please. A large mixing bowl. Clean one? Brilliant. Good. Good. Couple of those. Don't need that. I need that. Flour. Where's the flour? Is that flour? That's sugar. You got any flour? Flour, please. Good. Flour is coming. I'm going to teach you how to make fried chicken. Proper. What do you mean? I'm going to teach you how to make fried chicken. I was taught to make fried chicken by an American. And I've taught to make fried chicken by an American who taught me the secrets of fried chicken. Oh, shit. You don't break the legs. Excuse my language. Shivers. I'm sorry. Oops. When you make fried chicken actually is crikey, what am I going to do with that? What do I do with that? I'll get rid of it somehow. Fried chicken is a very, very good thing indeed. In the UK, and I don't know how many are eaten here, but in the UK, we consume now 890 million chickens a year. 890 million chickens a year. So what I say is that people must like chicken, mustn't they? Hey, they must like chicken. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make fried chicken. A couple of eggs in a pot. Whisk it up. Thank you, some flour, very good. And then we're going to make a seasoned flour mix from the outside. And I'm going to do it very simply with just some flour in a bowl. Don't worry about measuring it out. It's all going to be done by feel today. A bit of cayenne pepper in a bowl. Bit spicy. A bit of turmeric in a bowl. Okay, come on up, you come. Turmeric, lovely turmeric. I love turmeric. Really good. Some salt. And I mean a good amount of salt, because it's a good thing. A bit of paprika goes in there as well. And I've got myself a nice little seasoned mix, flour mix. A lovely seasoned flour mix. Now, the amazing thing about a chicken is that a chicken actually comes ready to prepare for you. It's a very, very clever thing, a chicken. It comes ready, look. So watch this. It has these nice little wings at the back, which just like to be cut off. Because there's a little joint in the bone at the back, in the middle, and it comes off. Take off the skin, and then we've got two little bones, two little wings, first of all. Then he's got two thighs and two legs. Take those, snip down the back, and down the middle, and off you come. A little crack down the back, and you've got your thighs and your legs. That does that, off. That does that, off. Down. Down the middle, there's a little joint in the bone. We've got a thigh, we've got a leg. Not difficult, really, but as I say, ready to portion. There's the legs, there's the thighs. Breasts. Love breasts. Stop it. Stop it. And breast down the middle. Down there. Each breast piece then gets cut in half. And there you go. You leave the bone in with fried chicken. Always leave the bone in with fried chicken because it tastes better off the bone. You've got to make sure that when you're eating things like chicken, they're on the bone. Then you slash the chicken to the bone, all the way to the bone. I would look at you, but to be fair, this is a new knife and I don't know much about it. And it's really sharp and I like to keep all my fingers before I go back to England. So I'm watching what I'm doing. Slash the meat to the bone. Every single piece of this chicken, funny enough, be it breast meat, be it leg meat, be it thigh meat, will cook in the same amount of time. Right. Let's just have a look at these mussels and clams, shall we? They've opened up. The flavour of the sea is in there. Beautiful, beautiful things, all covered with that sauce. In it goes. Into the curry. I now drop in my fish. I remember I said to you something before about turning off the heat. Do that. Those clams and mussels have been in huge amounts of heat. Stir the fish in. Does anybody not like the look of that? I'll give you money back. I'm only joking. Right. Bring that back to the boil. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to let it sit and let all the flavours go into it. Right. So there's our curry on the way. Now, chicken. Here we go. Here it is. So we take the chicken and we drop it into the seasoned flour. And it's wet. Seasoned flour, seasoned flour. Can I get a bowl full of water somewhere accessible rather than a bucket down there? Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, whilst we're here on this lovely show, this is my sink to wash my hands in. Look, there you go. There you go. That's actually, oh, it's all right, I'll do this. It's fine. Wash your hands. Remember to wash your hands all the time before you cook. Always wash your hands, yeah? I do MasterChef, as you know, in the UK, and I've been doing it for 11 years. And what I've got to eat sometimes, you know, we have no idea where people's hands have been. What they've been doing with their fingers, with their partner first thing in the morning, I have no idea. Anyway. Oh, yeah, you laugh about that, but can you imagine? You stop hugging that girl. Stop it. Right, so how do we make fried chicken fried chicken? Spiced flour, first thing we're going to do is the spiced flour. And then we're going to do what's called a double batching, where it goes through twice. Let me just turn this off because the curry's boiling and the fish is going to cook in that lovely heat. So that's it. Deep fryer on. Chicken, fried chicken, taste of chicken, doesn't it? But if you fry chicken at home, I bet you any money it doesn't taste like chicken. And the reason that chicken doesn't taste like chicken when it's been fried like chicken is that chicken needs to be roasted so the flavors come out. What you're actually doing with fried chicken is you're steaming chicken. And steamed chicken doesn't taste like chicken. So the way you make chicken taste like chicken is to add chicken to the chicken. Make sense? And how do you do that? And this is my American friend who taught me how to make chicken taste like chicken when you're doing fried chicken. What you do is you take chicken. You take chicken soup. Oh yes, cream of chicken soup. And you shake up the cream of chicken soup. You put the cream of chicken soup in with your egg mixture. You think I'm joking, don't you? I can tell you now, I've been MasterChef for 11 years, national television, last night, 5.5 million viewers, and this is how you make fried chicken. Chicken soup. Just got to take the top off of my milk. A little bit of milk. And then whisk it together. Thank you. So, now we've got this amazing chicken flavored mixture. In goes our floured, lovely floured bits of chicken. Seasoned chicken into the mix. Mix the whole lot together. Get your hands in. Feel it. You know, nothing's good without feeling it properly. You know, you guys are so bad. So bad. Then you take that mixture and you mix the whole lot together with the flour. Now, what's going on? And I mean, just drop it in. Doesn't matter how much excess stuff's on there. What's going to happen here is almost like a batter. And that batter then is going to sit. Now, you know when you buy fried chicken from that big shop what's got a K and an F and a C on it, right? That big shop there, you know it's all crinkly and wrinkly. Well, look what's going on here. It's flour, and it's actually just blobs. Look at my fingers, look. Hey, Moonraker. That's what makes it special. And I'm going to let it sit there for a second. And you guys think I'm nuts, don't you? You think I'm absolutely nuts. When you try this fried chicken, you, my friends, are going to go home. You're going to get yourself a tin of chicken soup, and you're going to drive to KFC and buy a takeaway. I know what it's like. There are certain things in life, of course, you can't stop. And I think that takeaways are a fine thing. I have no issue with them at all. I think that people should buy takeaways. I think there are people in the world who do things really, really well all the time. So why shouldn't you use them? I have no issue with the Golden Arches. I think they're making burgers and they've been making them for a very long time. And the reason they are so successful is they do it very, very well. So why not use it? Right, that. Fried chicken. In it goes. And what you've got to do is find an implement you can put it into the thing with. I'm going to talk about that in a second because it's driving me nuts. I'll use a spoon. I can't find a pair of tongs. In it goes. What's going on right now is there's a reaction. The reaction, that bubbling reaction that's going on right now is water and oil. We all know that if you have water and oil together, it's a dangerous, dangerous prospect. Make sure that you've got a lid handy and do it in a wok like this. You've got a large surface area. But put lots of stuff in it because the temperature's going to drop and the chicken inside needs to fry. And if it's lots of it in here, then that chicken's going to fry and it's going to take about 6 to 8 minutes. And in 6 to 8 minutes, every single piece of that chicken's going to be cooked. It doesn't seem like a very long time, but it's going to be cooked. And what's going to happen now is the color's going to change. It's going to go dark. But that bubbling reaction right now, that water in there, will tell me when my chicken is ready to come out. What I'd really like is a pair of tongs. You know, good old-fashioned tongs. Over the last couple of days, and I've been here and had a really good time, I have had the most amazing time. I've really enjoyed myself. I have, and thank you very much, Johannesburg. You've been absolutely lovely to me. Thank you. I have, however, discovered that in Johannesburg, you guys no longer use kitchen implements in the kitchen. Instead, the effect of 50 Shades of Grey has taken over to the stage where now we have things in the kitchen which probably belong somewhere in somebody's... What is that? What do you do with this thing? I mean, look at it. It's weird. I mean, you know, who'd like to take that home? Do you know what I mean? It's just weird, man. And this, what's that? That's not a spoon. It can't pick anything up. It's a spanking paddle. I mean, you know, look at it. That's just weird. That shouldn't be in the kitchen. That's going in my suitcase to surprise the girlfriend when I get home. Actually, they're all in a cupboard in a little suitcase. Anyway, right, so only joking. As they say in the world, everything that's said, there's always a small degree of truth in it. Right, let's talk now about what we're going to do. Some fried chicken and a curry, half an hour. I don't think that very many people really, these days, think that food is simple. And I was talking to somebody out the back, a journalist just recently, only an hour ago, and they said, what's your favorite recipe? What's the recipe that you think is the most outstanding? And I said, a roast chicken. She went, that's a bit simple, isn't it? I went, but a roast chicken. How many times have you eaten a roast chicken and gone, it's a bit dry, the breast's a bit dry, the leg's a bit chewy, it hasn't been seasoned very well. I think a roast chicken is an amazing thing. And I commented about the Chinese duck. The Chinese duck is an amazing thing. We've all had Chinese duck, or most have had Chinese duck. 80% of all the ducks consumed in the UK now are used for Chinese duck. Because Chinese duck is what people eat when they think about duck. It's an amazing thing. That recipe is not difficult. It's a duck filled with 5 spice, sugar, some ginger and spring onions. It's washed with vinegar, some maltose, and it's left overnight, and then it's roasted in an oven, hanging upside down. That's how it's done. It's not difficult. It's simple. 2,500 years they've been cooking Chinese duck. That's a long time, isn't it, eh? So I say keep it simple and do it really, really well. The chicken is a great example of that. Fried chicken. Listen, can you hear it? Fried chicken. I love fried chicken. Honestly, I think it's such an underestimated thing. Fried chicken, hot dogs, good burgers. They're beautiful things for a reason, because they're really tasty. Let's move to tasty, shall we? Let's move to tasty and let's take our food to the next level. We're going to take a bit of coriander because I'm going to serve my curry. The smallest amount of coriander and not a huge amount. And some bean shoots. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put them in the bottom of a bowl. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve my seafood curry on top of those herbs. Because you add a little bit of warmth to a herb and the whole thing comes to life. A herb by itself doesn't have a lot of flavor. Again, it's about giving it just a little bit of an oomph. We take that and we take some lime. Pretty, pretty thing. Look how beautiful a lime is. Do we underestimate how wonderful our life is and how beautiful nature really can be? Because it's a great thing. Squeeze a lime inside my curry. Am I concerned about presentation? Yes, I am. I'll show you how concerned I am about presentation. I take the bowl, the big pot of curry, which I know I've made with real love and real care. Inside it are some gems from the ocean. And I simply pick them up with a bit of grace, be gentle, and spoon them gently into this pot with my herbs. And what we've got, don't put a lot in, just a few things. And what we've got now is a really pretty little bowl of seafood curry in a hurry. Ta-da! I love curry. That there is simply delicious. Now, still frying away in my chook. Let's pull a bit out, because I think everybody's a bit dubious about the way I think that the chicken might be cooked. So let's take a little piece of chicken out of here, and I'll show you. Piece of chicken, piping hot, delicious. There, knife, and there you go. It's not cooked. So what do? Put it back in. So we'll fry the chook. There we are. Right. As that chook continues to fry, as it's my last demonstration, I'm also decided that I'm going to give you a little bit of a taste of something I've been making on the early demonstrations. I've decided that it was only right that I break bread with my friends. So I've made a loaf of bread for you. It's a loaf of bread which inside is filled with bacon and onion and all sorts of lovely things. And it's called my pull-apart bread, my breakfast bread. And it is inside each one of these rolls. Oops. Each one of these rolls, inside here, is this amazing cheese and bacon filling, which is just fabulous. That's for you guys to eat. And as I'm frying chicken, does anybody want to ask a question?
Question, anyone?
Any questions? Anybody? Come on, guys.
Come on,
You can ask
John.
anything you like. You be as rude as you want. Come on. Let's be provocative. Right? Right?
There we go.
Go,
We've
go.
got a hand up. All right, I'll come to you next.
We'll ask the question once we try the chicken. Is that fine? I just want to ask the question once I've tried the chicken.
No, you can ask a question now because you can't fry the chicken. What, you want to try the chicken?
He wants to try the chicken first.
Oh, yeah, come on. No worries.
All right, cool. Let's go to the second question over here.
Take
Hello.
the chicken.
What oil did you use to fry the chicken in? Sunflower, canola, what oil?
JM and RM. Nola sunflower oil.
Sunflower.
I'm
all
not
right.
really that particular about oil, to be fair. Sunflower oil, corn oil, whatever you like. It's just whatever you want to use. Doesn't really matter.
Cool. John, we've got one more over here.
Yes?
Okay, would it be wise to boil the chicken before you dunk it in the...
Wise to?
To boil the chicken before you dunk it in the...
No.
flour?
If you boil the chicken when you fry it, it's going to be dry. As soon as you boil a chicken, that's great to eat it. That's a lovely thing to do. But fried chicken needs to be moist inside. And if you want to, and you want it to be really well done, and you're worried about it, fry the chicken and then put it in the oven and leave it for 10 minutes. It will be dry, but I know that some people like their chicken really well cooked. Me, I don't mind it when it's even a bit pink. How's your chicken, sir? There you go. The guy says absolutely fantastic. I will give you your 1,000 rand just before you leave. Don't
John,
worry
we've
about
got
it.
one more question up here.
Yes.
I want to find out which chef inspires you.
Which chef inspires me? Me. The thing is, I've been cooking a really long time. I tell you what inspires me. What's your name? Renelle. I tell you what inspires me, Renelle. What inspires me is people and culture and travel. I've been fortunate enough to do Argentina, to do Malaysia, to do Australia. And what I find is every time I travel, I meet people who actually inspire me. I walk down the street and I find a stand that inspires me. Excuse me, one thing that inspired me about Malaysia was that everybody has a stall and they cook one thing. They only cook one thing and they cook it all the time. And I love that. I thought it was just a really magical thing to see. And the food was really, really, really special. Right, this young man here now, he's had the chicken. You want to ask me a
Are
question,
you ready
sir?
for your question?
The chicken cream that you used, the chicken, what's it?
Soup. Chicken soup.
Chicken soup.
Yep.
Is it any old chicken soup that you just use, or just a
Cream of
specific
chicken
one?
soup.
Cream of chicken soup.
Cream of chicken soup, and what the cream of chicken soup does is it acts like a batter around the outside of the chicken, and it makes the chicken, as I say, now there you go, makes the chicken taste like chicken. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much from me. You've been an amazing audience. I've had an amazing time in Joburg. Oh, sorry, I'm in my mouth full. Please come and eat the bread. Please come and eat the curry. Thank you very much indeed. I love you lots. I'm John Torode. Merry
Let's
Christmas.
give it up for John
Happy New
Torode.
Year. Thank you very much indeed.
John will be available to sign the books after. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for coming out. This is obviously possible thanks to our awesome sponsors, which is Silverstone, as well as ChefWorks, our awesome assistant chefs. Thanks from the International Chef School, as well as Aquavita, keeping us refreshed. Handy Gas is really handy during load shedding, as well as Qantas, Taurus, and Goodfellas. Ladies and gents, if you could please exit to my right, which is your left, and go meet John Torode before he jets off back to UK. Oh, of course, and welcome taste.